Your attention. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2021 ISUS Global Project Development Fair. I'm Seung Bum Seo of ISUS. I'm very happy to be here for moderating today's seminar. First, I'd like to appreciate all the participants for attending today's event. Especially, I want to announce that we have invited very special panel discussants from our sponsor agencies and relevant institutions. Seoul Urban Solution Agency, Korea International Cooperation Agency, Korea Overseas Infrastructure and Urban Development Corporation, Korea Environmental Industry and Technology Institute, International Constructors Association of Korea, Korea Land and Housing Corporation, and CityNet, and City Branding Division of Seoul Metropolitan Government also attended for today's seminar. Again, thank you very much for your time today. Let me briefly introduce today's program. First, the Dean of ISUS, Professor Hyun Park, will give an opening speech. After that, total 10 groups will present their works. They are the selected groups from the GPD classes of the last semester. 5 teams will talk for the first session, urban regeneration and infrastructure development, and the other 5 teams will talk for the second session, environment and energy. After the main sessions, the awards will be announced. Panel discussions will contribute to the evaluation and scoring of the presentations. After the award announcement, today's fair will be finished with closing remarks. For the first of the program, the Dean of ISUS, Professor Hyun Park, will give an opening speech. Please welcome him with your applause.
Thank you, Professor Seo, and good morning. I'm sorry, good afternoon and good morning, everyone, depending on your time zone. I hope all of you are doing excellent. Stay strong and safe in this pandemic and hot summer weather. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you to 2021 ISUS Global Project Development Fair. As Dean, I'm extremely happy to get all the members of ISUS community, not only the registered student, but also alumni and the newcoming student in the coming fall semester, accessing from Korea and abroad. Special thanks to panels from our sponsor organization on ISUS for International Masters Program. Today, we invited Ms. 최 명자. 최 팀장님, can you wave your hand? Okay, yeah. Head of City Branding Division of Seoul Metropolitan Government. Actually, SMG is a sponsor organization of MUAP program. And we also invited Dr. Park Jae-shin, Vice President of KOICA, sponsor organization of MURD program. Thank you, Dr. Park.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Dr. Yoo Seung-min, Senior Environmental Specialist of Korea Environmental Industry and Technology Institute, KT, sponsor organization of MGLAB. Dr. Liu, can you wave your, okay.
Good to see you all. Good afternoon.
Yeah, and Mr. Lee Chul-ho, Director of International Contractors Association of Korea, sponsor organization of MIPD. Okay, thank you. We appreciate your presence in this event as well as financial support, which make it possible to run our wonderful international urban development program. We also invited panels from our partner organization. Today we have Ambassador Im Geun-hyung, Chief Executive Officer of CTNet. 임 대사님, 감사합니다. Can you wave your hand?
How are you? How are you, everyone?
Thank you. And Ms. Jo Baek-ki, General Director of Korea Land and Housing Corporation. 조 단장님.
네, I'm here.
감사합니다.
Good
Thank you so
afternoon.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Yoon Ji-won, Director of Korea Overseas Infrastructure and Urban Development Corporation, or KIND. 윤 실장님, 감사합니다. And we also have Dr. No Eun-hee, Director of Seoul Urban Solution Agency. 팀장님, 감사합니다. Yeah. CTNet, LH, KIND, and SUSA are organizations that graciously co-host ISUS internship programs for our international students. And they also offer frequent programs, including seminars on special topics and field trips. I appreciate their continued support on our program. I hope they are also interested in global projects presented at today's seminar. ISUS, founded in 2012, with an aiming to nurture professionals in the area of urban planning and regional policy, infrastructure development, and the environment. To achieve those objectives, ISUS have tried to deliver three core values: premier education, global perspectives, and worldwide networking. Global project development is designed to materialize those core values into the coursework. We have about 40 new Korean students and 90 new international students every year. We put all of them together into a GPD class and divide them into 4 classes, and then make a team of 4 to 5 students as a group. Every team works on developing a project proposal for a whole semester. In the course of the interaction with their team members, students can learn how to communicate with their classmates who have different cultural, regional, geographical background, fostering global perspectives and building worldwide professional network. As the output of the GPD class, proposals on specific projects or programs are developed at the end of the semester. As of the end of the last semester, 241 students have developed more than 250 project proposals for the past 8 years in various sectors of infrastructure, including but not limited to transportation, housing, environment, and water resources management through various funding sources, including PPP, public-private partnerships. It is worth mentioning that as many as 158 Korean students, mainly from engineering and construction companies, have been involved in project development, making those project proposals more implementable. Some projects were continued with follow-up financial support by some ODA funds from EDCF, MORLEAD, and Ministry of Environment. To disseminate the ideas and the performance of our students, we decided to showcase quality projects to large audience, including our sponsor organization and partner organizations. We also invited Korean engineering and construction companies to this event, making them accessible to the ISUS community as well as project proposals. We believe this seminar serves as a platform to exchange ideas and information between private and public sectors, home and abroad, and provide an opportunity to further cement international cooperation. Also, I sincerely hope you can get insights into solutions to challenges faced in the fields of urban development, regional policy, infrastructure development, and environment issues. Once again, I'm grateful to all the distinguished guests for making your time to join this event out of your busy schedule. Also, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation to all my students who have worked hard to make this GPD fair valuable and meaningful. And I also thank for ISUS professors who guided the project development in the class. Hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Professor Hyun Park. All right, then let us start the main session today. Professor Jun Park will moderate the first session. Please welcome him with your applause.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Jun Park. I'm a session moderator of the session 1 today. So my main task is to keep the scheduled time, right? So we have the theme of this session. 1 is urban regeneration and infrastructure development. And we have 5 teams. So all 5 teams, please make sure to make your presentation in given 10 minutes so that we can secure enough time for the valuable comments from panel discussants. Okay, the first team is Iguana. Iguana, are you ready? Okay, please share your screen and start your presentation. You will have the remaining time notice, 3 minutes, 1 minute, and thumbs up. Okay, you can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. The team Iguana, please see first slide. The team Iguana, the project about urban regeneration. Guayaquil, Iguana includes 2 students from Korea, 1 student from Ecuador, 1 student from Serbia, 1 student from Indonesia. Please, next. The project is transforming the street into a pedestrian-friendly, a commercial vibe street with relocated informal commerce in La Bahia. Please, next. The street is the main corridor of the downtown, connected attraction, company, and administration buildings. Please, next. Project background, next. Guayaquil is the coast of Ecuador, South America, the most important port of America. Population around 3 million people in 300 kilometers square. The main economic resource and financial center of Ecuador. Please, next. Also, Guayaquil is traditional harbor with vibrant commercial activity. Next. Inefficient governments in 80 and 90 generating urban problems. No institution, no urban planning, no corruption, no informal settlements, informal commerce. Next. In the context, La Bahia is the street informal market as a large part of the city downtown. Next. Please, Ogin.
So our location is in the center of the Guayaquil city, precisely in a La Bahia sector, near from the Guayas River. Next, please. La Bahia is a zone of formal and informal commerce of sale and purchase all kinds of legal and illegal goods. With a very affordable price, of course, La Bahia also located in the middle of the attraction in the center of area. Next, please. And the problem is in the La Bahia, the center has been losing its commercial value during the last decades. Facing the advance of new zone of high added value, it is necessary to revitalize this high vicinity area. The idea to pedestrian the downtown to enhance its tourist commercial value is an idea that has long been supported by the municipality and the public. Next, please. There have been two successful regeneration projects in the downtown of Guayaquil. The first one is the Malecon 2000. It's a 2.5 kilometer riverside promenade and also has cultural neighborhood with museum, galleries, and shopping center. And the second one is the Malecon del Salado in other side of the downtown of Guayaquil. It's a riverside park with a boardwalk and a playground. Next, please.
We have analyzed the problem more deeply. Firstly, the district of La Bahia makes the Guayaquil's urban image bad, and their fake illegal goods and kindness have raised the trust issue of the city. And moreover, her central area is devaluated due to informal commerces. First, they are kicking out former commerce by extremely cheap priced goods, and secondly, they are also kicking out rich customers. Inconvenience like heavy traffic, no credit card policy made the rich go to the malls in the suburb. As a result, the whole downtown area have low profit, so renters low as well, preventing new investment in the area. Buildings and facilities remained unupdated and grow old. And the downtown's connectivity is generally low. La Bahia acts as a big square lacking a population, and there is no natural flow between attractions and two attractions. In addition, in the main street, Avenue 9 October, lacks dynamics of views. Lastly, social problem by social seclusion. Similar opportunities are given to informal merchants, so their business remain incompetitive, and it lead to poor quality jobs. Moreover, bad economy of the city generate an unemployed population who easily become bad workers. As you can see in the picture, they threaten tourists or drivers to buy candy or something. So goal is solving those problems, making urban image better, attracting more investment to the area, and increasing connectivity and better living. We set short-term objective for achieving those goals. We studied some Korean examples. First one is Sinchonbak Square case. After relocation of informal commerce of the Ihwa Street, the area became more workable and it provided informal commerce to be more competitive. Second study case is Yeonsaru case. Sinchon area was depressed after Hongdae became a young and trendy image of the Sinchon. And research was successful. More people came to Sinchon, shop owners' revenue increased, and number of car accidents sharply decreased. The next presenter is Franklin.
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about the project itself. Here's the scope. The sphere stage consists of transform 9 of October Avenue into a pedestrian street, mixing the use with commerce. In this way, we pedestrianize the avenue while giving a new urban image and revitalizing the downtown area. At the same time, we pretend that the merchants have a better place to work and the actual Bahia area will be less congested and waiting for a future regeneration project. Next, please. This intervention area is around 1 kilometer of a new pedestrian street where we want to relocate some of the actual occupants of the La Bahia sector and make a new urban regeneration project. Next. This is the actual street, the actual type of a block. We can see the sidewalks, the parking, and the vehicle lanes with a central green area that divides the streets. Next. And this is the new distribution as a new pedestrian and walkable street with green spaces and commercial kiosk, bicycle lanes, and one emergency lane. Next, please. This is the actual section of the street, which is typical street, vehicular street. Next, please. And we pretend to make a new type of section, which makes very emphasis in the green recuperation of spaces and the new commercial types. Next. These are colorized sections of the new streets. Next. And this is the kiosk that we try to implement in the new commercial area for the merchants of the Bahia. Next. This is a barely budget that we present to you. The cost of the project is around $2,500,000. Pretend to serve in the first stage for 160 merchants, and the average rent for each kiosk is around $80. The rest of the values, we are pretending to return of investment in a period of 10 years, not only by the rent annual from the merchants, but also the legal betterment levies tax that allows the municipality to impose taxes to the inhabitants that served by the project. Next. Ogin?
So for the final goal of our project is to transform the city downtown into the pedestrian zone, which serve for urban commerce by a network of pedestrian avenues. We are using the super block concept like in Barcelona. Next, please. And this the super block that our offer for our project. The super blocks project is like a represent an innovative planning approach for addressing urban challenges such as mobility, public space, biodiversity, and social cohesion. With this concept, it will be relocated to 1,000 merchants and also with improved 16 kilometers of pedestrian lanes. Next, please. And the last thing is our vision for this project is to transform the into a pedestrian-friendly and commercial-fied zone. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Iguana. Next, second team is Team City Enjoynia. Right? The topic is development of multi-level urban parking at Motis Hill CBD area, Dhaka City, Bangladesh. Okay, when you're ready, you can start. Good.
Okay, we are starting. So respected panel members and the professors and beloved course mates, welcome to our presentation on development of multi-level urban parking at Motijhil CBD area, Dhaka City, Bangladesh. Next. So we are a city engineer. Making city more enjoyable is our motto. So our team members are Ms. Yong Hee Kim from Korea, Mr. Suksamai Thombolom from Laos PDR. I'm Said Rezal Haq from Bangladesh, and Mr. Septian Sofian Parmana, he's from Indonesia. Next. Our project outlined as a background, project statement, concept plan, financial plan, and outcome. Next. So background of our project. Motijhil is the oldest and the significant CBD of Dhaka City. It is covered with many offices and corporate headquarters. Because of that, it is experiencing an upsurge in parking demand over the last few decades. Now parking demand is about 2.73 times greater than the supply. For on-street parking, 50 to 60% of the roadway being unusable. A relatively more prolonged duration of parking is mainly responsible for this. Next. So this is our project profile. So Motijhil is Dhaka City's primary business and commercial hub, has more offices and business institutions than any other part of the city. It is the home of the largest number of corporate headquarters in the nation. Different types of transportation mode used in this area have only one government-owned bus terminal, not even a single parking. So only private buildings have their own parking facilities. And because of this CBD faces economic, health, and environmental losses because of the shortage of parking and affected conditions. So government has plans to build a multimodal hub at Komalapur railway station and the end station of Metro Line 6 and Line 1. This will also increase the demand of parking at that area. Next. So to mitigate these areas' parking challenges by developing a multi-storage parking facility, our objectives are increase the parking supply, safe and secure parking facilities, reduce of traffic congestion. The project will be developed by Dhaka Transportation Coordination Authority, and we hope that it will be managed and operated by Dhaka South City Corporation, because this area is located in this city corporation. So my groupmate, Ms. Yong-hee Kim, will present the next slide.
Japan has advanced automation technology. Multi-storage parkings and bicycle parking facilities are very well established. Automated parking facilities entered practical use in the 1960s. Kuwait, this is the largest mechanical parking lot in the world. Located in Al Zahra, Kuwait, it has a parking space 3.5 times the size of the parking tower. Korea, I use this smart parking and I have to pay 1,000 won per 10 minutes. I think it is located in Gangnam, so parking fees are expensive. As an advantage, it is a parking lot designed to park the vehicle by rotating the cage, particularly left and right after the vehicle is entered into the parking lot, usually called mini rotary. It is easy to install in the small area and has a few ports because it is a simple circular circulation method. It is very simple to use and can be operated by the driver without a separate manager. It is easy to move and reinstall the parking lot, so it has a very high efficiency value compared to the narrow area. Septian, please.
Yes, thank you, Yun-hee. I will continue the presentation about the concept plan. We will develop this parking in Multijel CBD Dhaka with the integrated smart parking concept. We have four main concept. First is multifunction parking, not only for this parking, not only for the car, but also for the motorcycle and bicycle. Also, we will develop the public area. It's like a park. And then the second is park and ride. This parking located in between the station. So we will use park and ride concept integrated with transit station and the green parking. We use the green building technology. And the last one is smart parking sensor. We use the some sensor for counting the availability of parking slot and also the payment system. We will develop this concept with several implementation. It's like a multifunction parking. We will develop with parking cars, motorcycle, and bicycle. And we will construct rooftop park for public area and also food hall for developing local economy community and also park and ride. The location is between the public transportation and the location in the CBD. And we want to, this parking, we want to become important facility to making easier people. And then green parking, we will develop this parking with the green building technology, and we'll have a renewable energy for manpower. We'll have a natural self-cooling system, and we'll have a rainwater harvesting. And the last one is smart parking sensor. We developed the parking using vertical parking rotary technology as in the Korea. And then the second using sensor for showing the availability slot parking and develop smartphone application for assessing the parking. This is the purpose parking location. As you can see, the red one is the purpose parking area located in CBD of Dhaka. And the large site is 3,500 meters square. This is the design concept. We will develop the parking with a 4 level of car parking and 1 level of motorbike parking and 1 level of bicycle parking. The technology vertical automatic car parking, and the capacity is 320 car for car and 500 for motorcycle and 625 for bicycle. And the financial analysis will be continue with Suksama, please.
So for financial analysis on the first year to the third year, with the investment on construction cost for the car, motorcycle, and the bike on the 4th year, we have operations. Please next slide. And for the financial plan is for the car, motorbikes, and bicycle parking service in the multi-chain city in Bangladesh per year. We can calculate the total is 45.43 billion years. Please next slide. I mentioned on the first year to the third year, the investment for the construction cost for the car, motorbike, and motorcycle. And for the fourth year is operation. But if the invest in this project in interest will be included from on the seventh year. Please next slide. For the project plan, this project we use the time on the 5 year. We start in the 2021 to 2075. On the detail on there have the preliminary feasibility study, and the comprehensive development plannings and working design and construction and operational. Please next slide.
Yeah, thank you, Mai, for your nice presentation. So now we are presenting our final outcome for our project. So successful implementation of this multi-storage car parking will improve the parking related issues, and the occupied road space will be freed. That will reduce congestion and increase also the vehicle speed. As a result, the economic loss will be reduced, and also the environmental condition of this area will be improved, and as well as it will also generate some revenue for the organization who will operate these things. So next. So this is our team photos when we are developing these projects, and thank you everyone for your kind patience and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Team City Engineer. The third team is Team Mac2 Farmers, and the project topic is utilizing underused space for greenery. Okay, Team Mac2 Farmers, are you ready?
Yes.
Please share your screen. When you're ready, you can start. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, good. Make it full screen. Okay, good.
Good afternoon, respected guests, ISUS members, colleagues, students, and panel board. I would like to introduce you Mac2 Farmers, and project colleagues are Mr. Hill from South Korea, Mr. Park from South Korea, Zalmeg from Mongolia, and I myself from Ethiopia. Next, please. So we want to utilize underused spaces for greenery. Our first prototype area is Seoul, South Korea, but then we would prototype it and then apply it in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Next, please. Next. So climate change has been a global topic since the late 20s, and we want to address this issue on urban regeneration. Next, please. So on urban regeneration, we would like to take the energy part, and then we would like to take urban farming as a production of green energy, which is important for the environment. Next, please. Next, please. So in urban regeneration, we have chosen from the various definitions. We want to take the product of complex dynamics process and physical, social, and environmental economic transaction. So in our building, next please. In our building, we are going to we're going to see the economic, financial, employment, physical, and housing, social, all issues. But then we will like to design a physical building. Next, please. So in utilizing unused and underused spaces, we would like to take land occupied by functionally obsolete non-residential buildings. We would discuss later what we mean by that. Next, please. And we would like to bring technological advancements by using eco-friendly production buildings, by serving the breathing space for our surrounding. Next, please. And we would like to produce green energy, which is sustainable and reusable. Which is to keep the urban heat island in the cities, and in an already developed city like Seoul, making more space for sustainable green energy is a future investment. And also as we use this in Seoul, the prototype could be used in developing countries also. The next part will be presented by my colleague Zalmek.
Thank you, Didi. Now I'm talking about this urban farming definition. This vertical farming is the practice of growing crops in vertical stacked layers. It often incorporates controlled environment agriculture, which aims to optimize plant growth and soilless farming techniques such as hydroponics, aquaponics, and aeroponics. Next, please. About this background and history, beginning of this greenhouse glasshouse technology developed largely in Netherlands over the past 150 years. And concept is like proposed in 1999, Dixon Palmier, professor of public and environmental health at Columbia University. And nowadays, developers and local governments in multiple cities have expressed interest in establishing a vertical farm. And about the case study, we choose this Technofarm Kehana, which started operating in November 2018. It's the first facility to employ the Technofarm system. Next, please. This Technofarm Kehana is located in Kyoto, Japan, and potential is 30,000 lettuce heads per day. And it's automated cultivation, advanced environmental control, and operate in operational efficiency due to IoT-based management system. Also, it's energy saving due to LED lighting and saving over 16,000. Next, please. And its spread's current lineup includes two unique varieties. It's crunchy frilly lettuce, smooth and sweet plated red lettuce, soft yes crispy French lettuce. Each of these delivers a clean and fresh taste and is rich in beta-carotene. Next, please. And there is, as I told before, like three kind of vertical farming techniques: hydroponics, aquaponics, and aeroponics. Next, please.
Okay, thank you, Jamek. In this chapter, I would like to show up the how-to implementation on the vertical farming. As you heard, that the Korea government has a plan to move the administrative capital function from Seoul to Sejong City. It is a good chance for urban farming to get the empty space in CBD area. We can plant a small vegetable for my breakfast without heavy transportation, which makes air pollution and spend the gas energy. This is a target building location. Its name is 정부종합청사 Government Complex Seoul. This building has 3 basements and 19 floors. And total floor area is 78,000 square meters, including core area, which is the same as 10 times of football playground. As you see, the building footprint has a 100 meter by 30 meter, and it has a core in the center of the footprint. Normally, core ratio against the footprint is around 20%, and the remaining area can use for the available space. So we can use it for the farming area. If you check the 30-meter vertical section on the typical floor, as you see, the height of available space is 2.5 meters, except the ceiling inside for MEP. And the depth of the available space is 12 meters, except 8 meter core size. And this is one vertical farm unit is 10 meter by 1.4 meter, and height is 2.0 meter. And one vertical farming set has 5 vertical farming units. And one typical floor has 20 vertical farming set. So finally, we assume that the total farming area is 133 square meter, which is same as 20 times of the football playground without core area. And the next step is to study for the ethics analysis, Mr. Park.
Thank you, Her. So from this page, we would like to speak about the effective analysis. Next, please. This is a SWOT analysis compared with conventional farming. The strength point is vertical farming will make the new employment and new business opportunity, no matter related crop value, and reduce fossil fuel. Also, transportation is reduced. Opportunity is increasing demand for vitamin and mineral-rich food. Population is growing, land is shrinking. The weakness point is structure need to be built, generating additional cost, and threatens is conventional agriculture. The state can supply food at a lower cost. Yeah, next, please. This is the effect analysis compared with open field production. Vertical farming is a very less water consumption method, and this is a very effective method for crop yield, and also the very less food miles in transportation. Next, please. The business type is project financing. We apply the financial discount rate is 6%. Analysis period 18 years, including 15 years operation years. From financial analysis, we can get figures for FNPB, FILR, ROE as below table. As a result, the project is financially feasible. Next, please. This cost consists of a project cost, facility building and system equipment, and O&M cost. Next, please. The sales income is calculated from consumer retail, the market price. Next, please. We can also calculate the cash flow table. Thank you. Next.
So finally, when we wrap this presentation, we would like to apply this prototype. We studied it in Seoul, but it can happen anywhere. So we would like to take this to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So the Green Legacy in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia is a campaign to plant 6 billion trees across the country this year. And Addis Ababa as an Ethiopia's capital and Africa's political capital, home for African Union headquarters and UN Economic Commission for Africa, could benefit from ecotourism. So considering the cultural and commercial ties, the project we studied in Seoul is suitable for implementation in sister city Addis Ababa. Next, please. So we have 3 locations which are in the CBD area. Location number 1 is Ras Makonnen, which is around here. Location 2 is Kazantris, and location 3 is Lagar. All 3 of them are in the CBD area and also open spaces. So we could literally copy and paste this project. We can build this green vertical farming. Next, please. So in conclusion, the green regeneration not only regulates urban ecosystem dynamics, but also makes cities advanced and competitive. So by stepping ahead, we can make our city a future city. Any city this project is applied would be a future city. The legal and institutional basis could be set on depending on Ethiopian or any other country that's implementing. And monitoring and evaluation would best be done by respective stakeholders. In our case, in Addis Ababa City, Green Development Office would be the project owner. Thank you for your time. This is our presentation.
Okay, team back to farmers. Thank you. Fourth team is urban regeneration, and the project topic is Yongsan Regeneration Park. So, are you ready? Dan, you can start.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Yongsan Regeneration Project. Next. 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 So this is the group members, which include Rich from Cambodia, Dongjin from Korea, Krista from Indonesia, and me who is presenting from Rwanda. Next. So Yongsan is a district between Gangnam and Jongno. It was previously occupied by US Army base. Next. 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 In our project, we plan to have 3 main goals, which is to improve the physical structure, to improve the environment, and the local economic development. Next. So we believe that in our project, we will bring together the SMG, government, the ministry in charge, the private sector, and the general public. Next.
Okay.
So these are the current conditions of the site. Mr. Rich can continue the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Noel. So in terms of development project sustainability, we have to design about the existing condition. Here, our concept map about we are consistent for main type is residential with high density and low density, and foreign communities measures, and the rest is open space. And here's the detail land use that we consist into 4. We divide from the 4. And here the detail is one is open space, resident 1 is resident 2 and resident 3, and commercial area and educational area, and the rest is the public areas. And here the master plan, we are selected from the best practice and designed from the Korean, and we are analyzes the cost and analysis, and we also design about the greenery development direction that is existing, and also we are planning the linked green development direction. Here our conceptual design is we design like building permits and also building regulation based on the area that the area which is close to the Han River is will build like less with lower than another area that we can provide another view and open space to another building. And here is our conceptual plan. And the funding raising is will be covered by Graceland.
Thank you, Rich. So I want to explain more about the management for this project. This project will be carried out using 2 contracts. First, the engineering, procurement, and construction, or we can say EPC contracts, and the second one is operation and maintenance, O&M contracts. In terms of financing, the construction will involve the utilization of government budget, including private capital, such as sponsor or loan from the banks. For the land that provide the project is based on landowner, and the installment sale agreement from the facility buyer. Next, please. As you can see from the table, the essential cost for the land purchase or social rental house will be financed by the private fund, which is around 20%, and approximately 30% from the government budget. The construction costs, as well as other costs, will be financed by banks, funds, etc., which is around 50%. Next, please. As we know, financial planning is really important in the project. In this slide, I will explain more about the financial slide. Revenue for this project will start from the 10 million won, except one. We'll be selling around 1,500 units, will result to amount of around 40 million won. The city's budget will cover around 600,000 won, and a get loan around 10 million won. So the total will be 60 million won. And we will use the money efficiently and effectively for the construction, tax, and etc. Next, please. We have estimates about the cash flow, and we hope that this project will continue according to the prepared scheme. Next, please. This project aims to improve resident satisfaction by enhancing the quality of living standards and residence conditions. The second one is the realization of the sustainability development goals by residential area enhancement and discovery of local resource. The third one is achieving a resident-led urban regeneration model by development greenery system and provide public facilities. And last but not least, to improve environmental sustainability by development greenery system and provide public facilities. Next, please. To achieve those, architecture plans and the project plans have to be synchronized, which is also need approval and support from the public to be able to deliver great project result. Next, please. So with this project, our group will be under the Seoul Metropolitan Government, having a team role of design and project plan creation. And the other side, SMG will formulate the schedule and the budget of the project. We can hire people for the monitoring implementation, and they will do reports on the update for the project. And also we plan to hire people in companies or private organizations for management and construction. Next, please. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Team Urban Regeneration. We have fifth team, team name Mobile Debit Return. The project topic is Airdrop Ajim Bridge PPP proposal. Okay, Team Mobile Debit Return, are you ready?
Yes, can I share the screen?
Okay, please share your screen. Okay, full screen, you can see. Okay, you can now start.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are the Mobile Devo team, and we would like to start today's presentation with a question for you. Are you ready for life after COVID-19? What do you want to do after this situation? For sure, among us, there will be people already starting to think about the next vacation. Many people just want to jump to a plane or book a flight to a breathtaking destination. In this case, we would like to suggest Jerba Island in Tunisia with this astonishing nature beauty and relaxing place. And if you are a Star Wars fan like me, you can visit the natural movie set also located in the island. To reach this beautiful destination, there are 3 ways: by plane, bus, or ferry. You will probably discard the airplane because it's the most expensive option. You will also discard the bus because it would take too much time. And so it leaves the last option and the most popular, the ferry. However, with the growing interest in attractiveness of the island, you might find some traffic. In the high season, you can end up waiting 1 to 3 hours to get into the ferry. But don't worry, we are here to save your vacation. We are proposing a bridge so you can enjoy Jerba.
So island Jerba is located in the south part of Tunisia, which has beautiful beaches and dramatic sunsets. The total area of Jerba is 514 square kilometers. It is formed by 3 districts: Homsok, which is the capital of the island, Midoum is the tourism center, and Ajim, where our project is located. As you can see the slide, the population of Jerba have been increasing and can be impact the traffic demand in future. In other words, more people coming in and out of the island. And another important indicator is the number of tourists in Jerba. According to the tourism minister of Tunisia, tourism growth rate is 13.6%. Based on this rate, here is the estimation for the next 4 years of possible tourist demand. And the main problem is waiting time to get the island. That in the high season can be up to 3 hours. In the slide, you can see the ferry that runs 2.7 kilometers between Ajorf and Ajim. So to solve this problem, we proposed a bridge of 2.4 kilometers to be constructed through the public-private partnership funding under the Ministry of Infrastructure of Tunisia within the time span 2025 to 2049.
For the technical details, after different analysis, economic and technical aspects, we have chosen a 3-span cable-stayed bridge for our bridge with a total length of 2.4 kilometers. Each span has a length of 800 meters. And there is 4 lanes, 2 ways with 3.75 meter each lanes, as you see in the graph. And the aesthetics aspects also was very important to increase the tourism for Jerba, as making this bridge as an attraction for the island. Next. For the project proposal, for the time framework, the base year will be, we chose as 2021. For the opening year is going to be 2025. For the final year of analysis is 2049, which make it a total operation period of 25 years. Next. Now for the economic analysis, for the traditional cost-benefit analysis, most of the time we take in consideration those kinds of costs and benefits. But for our project, we only take in consideration 3 costs. Next. The first one is this field work costs. For this cost, we took our calculation based on 2 references. The first one is Red Slagula Bridge in Tunisia and Incheon Bridge in Korea. Both of them are cable-stayed bridges. We determined the construction cost per meter square, and then we took the average, applying the inflation rate and multiplying by the area of the new bridge. We come up with a total cost of $540 million US dollars. Next, please. The second cost that we took in consideration was the land acquisition. We have a price unit of 71
meter square. The area was 35,000 meters square, and this gave us a total cost of about $2,500,000. And finally, the last cost is the automatic toll system implementation cost. We are adopting for our project electronic toll collection, and based on the Department of Transportation in United States, the average cost per lane for this kind of system, the implementation is from 100,000 up to 200,000. We took an average for our project, multiplied by the number of lanes, which is 4. We come up with a total cost of $600,000. Next. As a summary of our cost, the total cost of our project, we ended up with a cost of $543,000 million as a total cost. Next, please. Now, my colleague Monica.
After having calculating the costs of the project, we try to measure the benefit that we're going to achieve after the completion of the project. The direct benefit that we are anticipating from the project are the value of travel time savings, the vehicle operating cost savings, the toll revenue. Beside this, we have also expecting that development in the area and expansion of commercial area. Next. During computing our vehicle operating costs and the savings, we try to estimate, we develop a model replicating the current travel pattern of the area by building the OD matrix on the zone, and we just forecasted the traffic. Next. And during this forecasting and developing a model, we try to put some assumptions. The speed at the peak hour in the Jerba area is at around 25 kilometers per hour, and we're expecting to increase to 16 kilometers per hour after the vehicle after the completion of the bridge. Due to this, we expect that the modal shift from the ferries and towards from the traffic diversions from the other routes, and it will be 34% from the other routes, and 66 from the ferry will be diverted towards this bridge. Next. And during our computing the vehicle operating cost savings, we try to adopt the Transport Investment Evaluation Guideline of Ministry of Land and Infrastructure of Transport of Korea 2007, and we use this model. Next. And we ended up with $52 million for the vehicle operating cost savings. Next. And the travel time savings will be also $13.13 million. During this competition, we used the Oregon 2030 report for the value of 1 hour travel time by vehicle class. Next. And also we try to monetize the toll revenue. Since it's a leisure type travel, so we adopted the willingness perspective, and we ended up the toll revenue around $29,000 per annual. Next. And finally, we come up with a BC ratio of 3.6 and the NPV of the project with a discount rate of 8% and the NPV $51 million. This makes us our project will be more feasible. Next.
Okay, thank you. Okay. This is now the financial structure and the implementation strategy of our project. And the financial structure of our proposed project is aligned with the pipeline of the PPP project in Tunisia. And this is according to the official documents from the government of Tunisia have been revised during the preparation. Next. Okay, this is the PPP structure framework of the implementation of the project. In order to implement this PPP bridge project effective and successfully, the basic 7 proposal agreements and the contracts are proposed to be in place, whereby one, it is the sum of the project and agreement between the SPC and the other implementing agencies, and also some of the contract between the government and the lenders of the project. And here you can see on the side, these are the some of the agreements and the contracts. Next. These are the major agreements, and I can say that these are the major proposed agreement, which shows the proposed contract and agreement durations and also the amount. For example, EPC agreement, the contract time for the construction should be 3 years, and also the contract amount, as we said before, it will be $543,000 million US. And another, it is the operation and maintenance agreement, which to be 25 years. Also, the insurance time will be 25 years. Next. This is the financial structure whereby, according to the Tunisia government, it proposed that 77% of the fund should come from the debit, and also the 23% should come from the equity. And you can see in the equity, 3% from the public, and also 20 from the private fund. Next. Okay, these are the members of our group, and I am Helman, and also the second is Rano from Usnani, and also Hemeni from Tunisia, Murkeni from Ethiopia, and also our leader Hemeni from Brazil. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for your kind listening.
Thank you to Team Mobile Dev Return. We had all presentations by 5 teams. So again, thank you for the timekeeping. We even saved 5 minutes. So let's move on to the panel discussion. We have 5 panels for scoring and comments. So let me briefly introduce these 5 panels. So after my introduction, please, when I introduce each of panel, then please give them a big hand. We have Mr. Keun Hyung Im from as the CEO of CityNet. And we have Mr. Chol-ho Lee, Director of Small and Medium Contractors Business Division, International Contractors Association of Korea. We have Ms. Becky Cho, General Director of Global Business Promotion and Cooperation Office, Korea Land and Housing Corporation. Okay, we have Mr. Chris Jiwon Yoon, Director of Strategy and Planning Division, Korea Overseas Infrastructure and Urban Development Corporation. And we have Dean Hyun Park, Professor Hyun Park. Okay, Mr. Keun Hyung Im, in this order, we'll have comments from the panels. All the panels, you have around 4 minutes, okay? So please welcome Mr. Keun Hyung Im.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Park. Thank you for your kind introduction. Most of all, I would like to begin by congratulating you on your wonderful presentations on issues of our keen interest under the theme of urban regeneration and infrastructure development. It seems that Seoul is a quite right place for benchmarking such an issue, as most of its urban redevelopment projects over the last several decades have evolved around the concept of this regeneration. Well, among these 5 cases that you just presented, I was particularly asked to comment on the second one, well, development of multi-level urban parking at Motiziel CBD area of Dhaka. Before I begin, I must say that I'm quite pleased to be the commenter on this case because I happen to know one of his 4 participants, Mr. Said Rajul Hek. In fact, Said was our intern for about a month this month at CityNet, the organization that I have worked for as CEO. While taking this opportunity, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Said for his excellent service to the CityNet.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to, well, okay, sorry, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your response.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I'd like to emphasize that urban regeneration is one of CityNet's major interest areas. CityNet is currently running the urban asset analysis platform This is sort of a policy repository consisting of best policies and practices implemented by member cities. We have so far amassed more than 300 such cases, and undoubtedly, there are many cases related to urban regeneration. Well, I'm proudly inviting you to visit our platform and share your best practices in our members. Having said that, now I would like to turn to the project. The first point that I wish to make is that this project, as the project title indicates, is the most concrete and the most concise one if you compare it with other 4 projects. The project includes not only details of its construction, such as the number of its floors, capacity for parking cars, motorcycles, and bicycles, and even its exact location in the center of Dhaka. It is equally impressive for me that it covers financial component in more practical and feasible manner. Secondly, I would like to point out that the project tries well to harmonize best practices with the present conditions and needs in old and prime CBD of Dhaka. According to the presentation, the idea seems to be drawn from 3 case studies, respectively Japan, Kuwait, and Korea. We can easily imagine that parking needs in these countries will quite differ from each other and will be significantly different from Motizil in Dhaka. The authors of this project seem to put priority on how to achieve the harmonization between these 3 different cases and that of Motizil. So we can trace their effort throughout the whole project scheme. Congratulations. And one more thing that I finally wish to add is that although the authors claim to aim at resolving 2 contradictory problems of environment and traffic congestion by constructing environmentally sustainable parking facility, I would say that the multi-level urban parking cannot be a permanent solution in catching 2 birds with 1 stone. In certain areas of the city, I would say, on the contrary to the solution suggested by city engineer, the best solution may lie in giving less spaces for parking to the drivers, making it more inconvenient and costlier to drive private cars instead of offering a secured way of parking. Well, that's all. That's more or less all I want to say to you, Mr. Said. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Keun Young-im. The next panel is Mr. Chol-ho Lee. Please welcome him.
Hello, I'm Lee Chol-ho. It was a good idea and impressive contact for unused or low-value facilities. I think it would be better to use on-the-ground space facilities that are less valuable than buildings because the environmental control cost is low because it maintains a constant temperature. I hope to analyze the economic in more detail. For example, it would be better to apply wholesale prices rather than retail prices. That's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chol-ho Lee. And let's move on to the next panel. Please welcome Ms. Becky Jo. Okay.
Sorry, I'll start again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Start again. I had my microphone off. Sorry. So I want to start by saying congratulations. Am I echoing? I think I'm echoing. I'm sorry, but yeah. So congratulations to all the panelists, to all the presenters, and to all the students for these wonderful projects that they've come up. And I would like to congratulate the professors, of course, for the knowledge that you have shared, so that they will be able to come up with these wonderful ideas. I was very impressed, but I was asked to comment on the Guayaquil project for Ecuador. So I'm going to just share a little bit of my thoughts. One of the things that I work for LH, which really specializes in urban development and planning, and we do urban regeneration, housing, and all that. So definitely, I have consulted with some papers that we have done, some of the projects, and of course, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that regeneration means many things. It's such a broad spectrum of things, and so we cannot tackle these enormous problems that these overdense cities are facing today due to population, transportation, and all those issues. But just to share briefly, I think what we need to do actually is when we're looking at regeneration, we have to look at the policies and the laws. So nationally, at the national level, the laws and the policies have to be there for some of these projects to happen. Secondly, there has to be a criteria by which these regenerations must be put under categorized, shall we say. So some countries will have to concentrate on housing, some countries on transportations, but I think these criteria or where you want to focus on will be very important. Also the types, according to the needs of the local government and the people. So what are the needs of the people? I think that's very important. And also how you need to have a very good assessment and evaluation of your problems. Now, one common thing that I found from all the projects that we've heard is trying to get public consensus. As you know, developing countries today have all sorts of city problems. And one of the issues that we always forget is that the people really are at the center. And so the people will not abandon their land. There are illegal settlements there, but they will say, no, I'm not going to leave my land because this is where I live. So this people consensus and communication at the national and local level is going to be essential. And I think all these projects need to keep that in mind. I think from the experiences that I've had, I think the a government that's able, local or national level, that's able to really listen to the needs of the people, really come up with good ideas and how to implement them. Now, going to Guayaquil, and I'm very happy because I was brought up in Latin America, and soy una Latina. I'm a Latina at heart. So Guayaquil is a beautiful city, and it's endowed with beautiful tourism attractions. And so therefore you need to really work together to be able to develop this particular area, La Bahia, so that no longer there's going to be poverty, there's going to be crime. You talked about illegal and legal transactions in commerce, no use of credit cards, these are all problems. But I think what you need to do is really look at some core issues. Yes, the project intends to create a walkable street that stretches 930 meters of pedestrian street, and you will get rid of all the cars so that everybody be able to, you will create a space so people will be able to walk. But then have you considered about, where will these cars go to? You need to find a detour for these cars. I believe, and I'm no expert at this, but I believe that Sejong, which was mentioned in one of the projects, was really intended to be a walkable city. However, I think I was on a taxi once, and the taxi driver was saying, oh my goodness, they have developed into this walkable city, and we're facing with a lot of traffic problems in the periphery areas. So you really need to consider where that traffic flow is going to go if you create 930 meters of pedestrian street. So where is that traffic going to flow? So that's one thing. What are you going to do about the vendors, the merchants that will need to receive these goods? Will they have, the delivery people as we do here in Korea? No, probably that's one issue that you will also have to be able to address. So this greenery, these walkable cities is very wonderful. But however, those two things I think you need to keep in mind. The third thing that I also thought that needed a little bit of more review was about security. You talk about, social issues. Now, if you start doing walkable cities and you don't have security, then you will have pickpocketers, you will have all sorts of problems that will be created. And these are issues that we really need to address. So I would like to suggest is to create a governance that of local people, of the local government, the local people, the merchants, so that you will be able to address these issues together. And of course, the financing that you came up with is wonderful. So yes, I think this is a very feasible idea. But before doing that, we really need to just address a little bit of some issues that I've mentioned. Just for your reference, we do have the government, and LH has worked with the government for regeneration, the green regeneration project. So there is like a tool, like a sort of like a process by which a lot of the cities have used in order to address their regeneration problems. So we have, for example, Save Our Neighborhood or central area type, where the economy, it centers on one particular area. There's also like economy-based sort of regeneration. So these are models that you could also look at before diving more into creating this project for Guayaquil. Well, good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Becky Cho. Then let's invite the next panel, Mr. Chris Jiwon Yoon. Mr. Yoon. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Will you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Say it again. I really much enjoyed listening our team's speech, and I can feel very impressed. I would like to share my thought and leave a little comment or a little recommendation. Number 5, the bridge, PPP bridge project. Back to the technical details. I guess teams use 3-span cable stayed bridge, but I guess 3 main tower cable stayed bridges too much excessive design. So considering low capacity or capital expenditure or O&M effectiveness, I guess 1 main tower cable stayed bridge would be enough for this project. So I recommend to change the construction method. 1 main span of around 700 or 800 meters with a special method, a cable stayed or a substation bridge, whatever, and PSM and FCM type bridge for other connection bridges. Then I think you can save more than 30 or more than 30% or more the total cost. And next project proposal. In intermediate analysis year, you guys assumed every 5 years for analyzing. But in my opinion, the site is not the city of development activation city. So if it's not a capital or near area, so it could be. but I think that it would be better to use every decade, but every 10 years. And the next, estimated cost should adapt the same standard based on MENA region, because you guys some cost estimated using a Korean standard, and the other one is Oregon. So I recommend using a MENA region reference. And for cost estimation, some criteria were omitted. For example, acquisition costs should be added about compensation paid for business loss. For example, there are no bridges, so every customer is using ferry better. So you have to a compensation for the existing ferry business owner. And design and supervision cost is quite low. Like you apply the 0.1% of total construction cost, but I guess maybe normally 3 to 5% is normally it's 3 or 4, 3 to 5%. And there are no calculation for incidental costs like the licensing or environmental and social impact assessments and traffic impact assessment and approval like that. And furthermore, the operational and maintenance costs shall be added cost. Then you assume all automatic tower system. For applying these systems, all passenger cars using the bridge should install electronic equipment. If not, in Korea's government side should establish a policy to manage for this, like a compulsory measure for unpaid charges. And next, benefit analysis. Direct benefit elements are all considered for typical road business as quite good, and air pollution reduction cost. Measuring VOCs with TS is very adequate, but the shame is far countries reference are applied, so reliability is somewhat lacking. The last one is to calculate BC ratio. You guys estimated benefit and cost among benefit elements. Toll price shall be removed on this figure. And definition of a benefit is on the social and economic side. So toll revenue is using for only calculating financial feasibility. So this ratio should be recalculated in the light of those factors mentioned. Taken overall, this project seems to be good for estimating economic development for tourism of Jeolla, considering the demand volume, the traffic volume, that it would be better to apply availability payment tariff structure rather than using user payment scheme. All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chris Jiwon-Yoon. Okay, let's move on to the next panel. Professor Hyun Park, please.
Thank you. How many minutes I have?
Around 3 minutes, please.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate 5 teams on the successful presentation. And I also thank again the panels for your presence and the valuable comment. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry I could not teach you students last semester because I have to cover too many courses last semester. So I didn't have a chance to share my thought on this class, global project development. So let me take this opportunity to share my thought on how to develop the project proposals. Actually, Yeah, specifically, actually, I was asked to make the comment on the first presentation on the Yongsan's urban regeneration project. On specifically, actually, it is a very unique project in the sense that it is a local project in Korea itself, and you apply some the PPP structures in develop the housing project. Overall, in developing a PPP project, we expect that you describe who is going to do what and how. But in the presentation of the Yongsan regeneration project, I don't see the details how this project will be implemented. In particular, many of the project proposals in the global project development class, typical format is describe the benchmark project in Korea and apply that concept to the local the home countries of the participating student. Yes, it is a typical idea how to share the knowledges or policy experience of Korea with the partner countries. But in doing so, one of the very critical components is to think about what's going to be the delivery challenges. Even though one policy was very successful in Korea, the same policies or same project may not be replicated in the partner countries. So it is called delivery challenges. So it's going to be good if you could address issues that may arise in implementing a benchmark project in Korea when it is transplanted to the home countries. That is about how. And another important component that needed to be addressed in the project proposal would be why. Justification of the project, rationale of the project. In particular, most of the urban and infrastructure projects are public projects. Actually, the private project, they don't have to think too much about the rationale of the project. If the project make a profit, it is okay. Yeah, the private company will do the project. But most of the projects that we are talking about, we are developing in the global development project is public project. So sometimes, even if it does not make money, some project had to be done. And some project, even some project make a good profit, the project should not be implemented from the perspective of public interest. So justification of the project or rationale of the project would be very important in developing the public project. In this context, it would be good if we could include some more justification about the project in general. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hyun Park. For your information, panels, the detailed project concept papers are also uploaded with the presentation materials in the same link you got. Okay, so please refer to that piece as well in your scoring. Okay, so don't forget scoring, one of your main duties.
Oh, okay. So we should have completed our scoring. Yeah,
no, you can do it now.
I almost forgot it.
Yeah, you can do it now. Okay, please give our all presentation teams and panels give a big hand again. Thank you. This is the end of the first session.
All right.
right.
For the participants, there are actually this seminar is like broadcasted at the YouTube with the live streaming. I see there are more than 100 the student and alumni joining this seminar. Okay.
Good. Thank you. Right. Actually, we were supposed to have a short break before the second session, but the time has been a bit delayed, so it will be better to move on to the next session, the session 2. So let us start the second session. Professor Hye-min Park will moderate the second session, Environment and Energy. So please welcome her with your big hand.
Thank you, Professor Seo. Welcome back. We're going to begin the second session on environment and energy. My name is Hye-min Park, moderator of this session. Let me start by thanking all presenters and panelists for being here today. We honorably have 4 distinguished guest panelists for the second session who have in one way or another helped us put this event together today. Again, we will have 5 presentations followed by feedback from the panel. We will start with Team Hay presenting electricity proposal for Perhentian Island. Hay, you have the floor.
I think the presenter is still muted, so please check your microphone.
Sorry. Hello everyone. Our team name is Hay. Hay meaning is hybrid energy for younger generation. Our project is the electricity proposal in Perhentian Island, Terengganu State in Malaysia. Next, please. Next, please. Our team consists of 4 people. Siwada came from Malaysia. She is Assistant Secretary in Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources. Aung came from Myanmar. He is Assistant Manager in Ministry of Transport and Communication. Luca came from Korea. He is Overseas Business Development. Sophie came from Korea. She is a Senior Assistant Manager in Business Planning Team. Next, please. Next, please. Our business target area is the Perhentian Kesin Island of Terengganu State in Malaysia. The population of this area is 2,000 people. The island has an area of 1,535 hectares. Sophie, next, please.
Luca, this is current electric scenario. Next, please. Electricity profile in 2018 in Perhentian Island. As you can see the table and chart, there's a big difference between peak and low seasons energy consumption. So we thought that the system capacity should be designed to meet peak demand energy consumption. Next, please. And this is current scenario in Perhentian Island. If you look at the first picture on the right side, there are 2 wind turbines, but both of them have been out of order since 2011. So the energy sources come from diesel and solar generators. And the annual energy consumption for residents is 400 kiloliters of fuel, and it emits 1,200 tons of CO2. And there are many resorts and hotels along the beautiful beach on this island, but they emit 6 times as much CO2 as residents.
Next, please. So here's our problem statement. There are three categories. Environmental issue is the uses of diesel generators produce lots of carbon, and it causes pollution, especially to the underwater ecosystem. And social issue is that the diesel and solar generation capacity is not enough to cover the whole island. So it causes the residents to have unreliable electricity. And in addition, residents didn't have enough information on how to maintain the system. And the economic issue is that the diesel and wind turbine generators are old malfunctions, so it's difficult to maintain and it has a low efficiency. So that's all about it. Next presenter will be Siyu Hada.
Thank you, Sophie. So for our project proposal, we thought of 3 ideas on how to overcome the situation in Perhentian Island. So the first one is to install the existing solar panels on the rooftop of each households and resorts in the island. The second one is to install new solar panels in the place of the existing solar panels, which have more efficiency compared to the existing solar panels. The third one is to remove the malfunction wind turbine and install new biomass plant and storage battery. So the first idea, the existing solar capacity will have about 80 kilowatt, while the new solar capacity will have 100 kilowatt, and the biomass plant will have about 212 kilowatt, while the storage battery will cover about 1,000 kilowatt in the island. So this is our proposed hybrid system in the island. For the solar panels, it have a distributed system from 10 to 20 watts, which we plan to install in parallel so that it can be easy to be added. And for the charger, we plan to have automatic switching to spare system in case of one failure. So it'll be easier for the operation and maintenance. For the inverter, we plan to have the operation in order according to the increase of electricity demand in the island. We plan to have dual system in case of blackout in the operation system. For the battery bank, we plan to have a rack type so that it can be easy to add in parallel. So for the communication interface, we have a real-time monitoring and control and analysis system in the island. So this is our proposed biomass system. We plan to have a food and organic waste from the island for the fuel system in the biomass system, about 30 tons per day, so that we can reuse the waste in the island that will be brought to the pre-treatment facility for the energization and wastewater treatment, so that we can produce the biogas for the electricity generation, about 212 kilowatt. So for all the proposals that we plan to do, it comes about 90 million USD. The most cost comes from the construction of the biomass power plant, which is however, since we want to reuse the waste food and organic waste, so the fuel for the biomass is free. For the solar panels, the new solar panels is about 100 hotels and resorts and households. For the cleaning, it's about 21,000 USD. For the reconstruction of the
Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So for financing model, we thought about 2 options. The first option is to have the loans from the financial institution, such as ADB or World Bank, so that it can be loaned by the Malaysian government in order for us to execute this plan. For the second option is by a special purpose company, so that we can get the investment from the local and foreign investor in order to construct the facility, and also for the technology investment. so that upon the completion of the project, the competent authority, which is Energy Commission, will pay the usage fee to the SPC company. So next, Aung.
Thank you, Suhara. And this slide is showing for guideline and process for implementing electricity projects. And those guidelines are mainly concerned with private investor and banker and policymaker. Most electricity projects are under the regulation of Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources in Malaysia. As seen in the picture, there are 11 steps for the project process, and to complete all process, roughly it takes 1 to 6 years. And the objective of the guideline is to provide an overview of the process, and they are not written from the perspective of the engineering and procurement and so on. Next slide, please. And in here, RE guideline it covers only for grid connected small solar SPV project with a capacity smaller than 72 kilowatt. And for the off-grid project, it is subject to different procedure and technical details. And next slide, please. Next, please. And by doing this project, we can expect 3 impacts. First of all, in the environmental impact, our project is less harm to the ecosystem, and it's also have reduced CO2 emission and also improve waste management and recycling, and also decrease dependency on fossil fuel. And in the economic impact, our project can be generate like carbon credit, and also we can reduce the maintenance fee. And finally, in the social impact, we can provide our local people reliable electricity throughout the season. This is our main target of our project. This is our final part of our presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Team Hay. Now let me turn the mic over to Team Bright, who will present another solar energy project in Ungave Buble, Panama. Team Bright, please take the floor.
Good afternoon to everyone. Now we will present the solar energy project in Atosamina, Buble, Panama. Next one, please. Our team members are composed by Alvin and Sam from Korea, Rose from Philippines, and Nayer from Ethiopia, and myself from Panama. Next one, please. And this is the outline for today's presentation. Next one, please.
Thank you, Amador. Here I will explain why this type of project will be selected for this country. Because according to the country census, more than 400,000 societies who lived on the highland area have a minimum access to the electricity. So to fill out these gaps, we have to develop a project of a green or environmental friendly electricity generation plant of renewable energy, such as solar energy, is a type of energy have no negative impacts on the environment and climate change. Next. Panama has 3 main sources of electricity. The majority sources are from hydropower, which is 56%. 41% are from coal. However, the contribution of solar energy for the electricity is very low, which is only 3%. Next.
For the location overview, the project is located in Panama with a population of about 4 million people, and the GDP per capita is around $1,700. Nave Bulgaria is located in western Panama, almost 300 away from the capital city. The population is above 200,000 people, and the area is about 7,000 square kilometers. Next one, please. The criteria we used for selecting this area, it was that has enough space to have a construction around 90 hectares, that is farther from, that's away from the capital city, at least 250 kilometers, that is not protected by the Ministry of Environment and has mixed agricultural land and mixed forests. Next one, please. The project consists of the construction and operation of utility-scale solar power project of about 50 megawatts. Next one, please.
Specifically, the project aims to produce and provide an environmental friendly electricity to Ngabe Bugle population necessary to supply their electrical demand without causing major environmental impact. So to give you an overview of this project, it will cover an area approximately 1.1 million square meters, establishing 125,440 units of PV module with an output of 50 megawatt direct current. The project also has 10% equity from total investment, shareholder loans from KEPCO of 10%, and the remaining 80% will be forced out through borrowings. Then the construction period will take within 15 months and estimated to commence the operation on July 2024. The local stakeholders include the people of Ngabe Bugle, local governing body, and local NGOs and voluntary groups. The national stakeholders will be from the National Energy Secretariat, which will oversee the development and implementation of national energy policy to promote diversified energy supply with an aim to reduce costs and avoid adverse social and environmental impacts. Then the National Authority of Public Services is the regulator of the national electricity market. The Ministry of Environment created is in charge with formulating national environmental policy and promoting the sustainable use of natural resources. The National Science and Technology Secretariat is an autonomous agency that promotes and supports renewable energy in Panama. The international stakeholders are the Korea Electrical Power Corporation, or the KEPCO, Korean Development Bank, and the Sci-Tech Renewable.
In order to predict the probability of insolation in the region, and estimate the project expected power generation time and probability, it was found that it is reasonable to make a prediction based on P75. Also, it is considered a reliable assumption because the standard used in similar area is the same as P75. Next, please.
As for the policies in Panama, the government is in charge of regulating the electricity sector. The owner of these regulations is the Ministry of Presidency. Then the policymaker is the National Secretary of Energy, and the regulation entity is the National Authority of Public Services. And there are several enterprises regarding electric services in Panama, such as ETESA, ENSA, EDESI, and EDEMET, as my classmate Roseland mentioned before. For this project, ENSA has decided to bear the joint responsibility for about 62% of the business land is planned to be leased for 20 years, and the remaining 38% will be purchased from the owner. Next one, please.
So as for the policy, the Panama's National Energy Plan 2015-2050 outlines long-term strategy for the country's energy sector development, including renewables. The plan established that 15% of Panama's generation capacity will be coming from renewable energy by 2030 and 50% by 2050. It suggests that 70% of the country's energy supply could be renewable after 35 years. The plan was adopted as a long-term roadmap to diversify the energy sector in advance energy access, energy efficiency, energy security, and overall decarbonization of the energy system. The country has vast potential to develop renewables, including hydropower, wind, solar, geothermal, and ocean energy, as well as range of biomass sources.
This cost is prepared in consideration of regional characteristics based on the cost of reference project. In general, the level of investment in solar power generation project differs depending on the country where the power plant is installed. The location of the project, the grid connection, development premium, and so on. However, the price of major component has similarly stabilized downward across the world. In addition, the level of EPC cost, which additionally takes into account the labor cost and construction margin of each cost, is greatly influenced by the support system. Next one, please. As of 2016, Panama's primary energy production was 940,000 TOE, imported 7.9 million TOE. Panama has half of the imported crude oil as international ship fuel due to the geographically specialty of Panama's canal. Next, please. The risk factor expected to start for this business are, as you can see, construction permit, compliance risk, delay construction, cost overrun, and financial plan. Next, please. The risk factor expected during operation are, as you can see also, government policy risk, offtake credit risk, O&M cost overrun, and force majeure. Yep. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you. Both the first and second project were examples of using solar power generation to eco-friendly supply the energy needs for small communities. With that, let me now yield the floor to Team Raindrops, presenting Kabul River regeneration.
Good afternoon, all participants. Our team Raindrop would like to be present the Kabul River generation, flooding management, and the environment renewable project as a global project development. Next, please. Our group has the 5 team members, and here is our project outline, project overview, project description, implementation plan, project goals and the financing plan, risks and assumptions, and the conclusion. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, let me start from the project background. Kabul city is a capital city of the largest city of the Afghanistan. It's located at the eastern part of the country, important and administrative center, commercial and the residential area is the 1,028 square kilometer, and the population is nearly 5 million. Kabul River is the lifeblood of the city, beautiful and peaceful, flowing through the city, and you can see the river map at the second photo. And it's a famous Afghanistan with the 700 kilometer long and the 13 kilometer through the Kabul city. It's rising from the Shalak range, west of the Kabul city, and the flowing to the east part of the city. Okay, next slide, please. Let me continue to the problem statement of the river. The first corner photo is the Kabul River in the 1982, and the next photo is on 2006. The population is increasing 5 times. Even the population is increased. There is no infrastructure management, and they indicate the planning management. And people use as the river for the garbage deposit, and it's begun polluted. The river is a seasonal dry river, and the water flow only 4 months out of a year. So that is related to the sanitation, diseases, and also the flooding problem. Okay, next slide, please. Next part, objective will be presented by my friend Darabul.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to present about our objective. The goal of our project is to make the river become the most iconic tourist in Kabul city by making the restoration of the clean water for quarantine, the tourist sanitation, and also enhance the natural beauty more to get attractive from the tourist side. Next slide, please. From the expectation outcome part, we can expect that with this project, we can improve access to the sewerage system as well. Moreover, the project can improve the living environment of the people around Kabul city. On the other hand, the projects also can be increase the public space and cultural promotion. And the last one of our expectation is contribute to the national economy by tourists and commercial income for, with this project. Yeah, and the next slide is my teammate Tham.
Well, I would like to present about our project description. The scope of project is 4 kilometers long from City Amusement Park to Mahmud Khan Square, which is the central area of Kabul city. Along the river, there are 9 bridges, including vehicle bridges and pedestrian bridges. In the river basin, there are commercial areas with many market and commercial buildings, and presidential area with presidential office and embassy office. And in the downstream of the river, it is the residential area. It can be said that the pollution situation now mostly comes from the discharge water from the commercial and residential area. So from that awareness, we have the concept of making the sewage pipes along the river to collect wastewater, install a treatment plant in the downstream to treat the water before discharging to the river. And in the river, we will install the natural treatment system by the plants, and we will also supply the stable clean water and make the walking way and landscape to let it become an attractive tourism place. First, to say about sewer system design, we will install the treatment plant in the downstream, install 2 sewage pipes along 2 sides of the river lead to the treatment plants. And we use the combined sewer overflow system in which excess rainfall will flow to the river, and use the water filtration plants as a natural cleansing system, such as oxygenating pond plants, water tank, or vertical grass. About water supply, we would use water from Satut Dam and underground water. Satut Dam is an under construction dam with a plan to providing clean water to the city, so we can ensure the water resource for the river. And about landscape design, we will make 2-level walking way with a high water level that secures the stream capacity of 100 years flooding. In the dry season, it can be the walking way, but in the rainy season, it can be the way for flood water. About bridge design, with the advantage that we already had current bridges, so we can use them to make the iconic tourism attractions without building the new ones. And the next will be presented by my teammate, please.
Thank you, Nixie. The project will be, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The project will be implemented using existing organizational structures, incorporating lessons and experience gained with the other similar operations. Timeline plan is totally 27 months, with 1 pre-stage of a feasibility study and 3 main stages of site preparation, construction work, and water supply management from the implementation plan. We made the project cost, and it was calculated based on cost of a Cheonggyecheon case study project, and the cost about currency rate, labor price, land price, and the project scale between 2 countries' situations. As you can see, total estimate cost is $342 million with the components feasibility study and site preparation, supervision, installation, in which construction cost occupied 81%. For finance plan, the cost of the project, it will be financed by government of Afghanistan and donors, in which government will cover 20% and 80% for donated from a multilateral development bank, JICA and USAID. And next is Hassan will announce.
Thank you, Mr. Jung. Usually the urban regeneration project is associated with 4 types of risk: project risk, commercial risk, external risk, and logical risk. Specific assumptions, the risks that may arise in the mitigation steps in this project are those assumptions: political stability, government continued support and prioritization of the project, no implementation or financial delay, civil works in installation are carried out according to the standards and contract, civil society are engaged to the project. Risks that involve in this project are government failure to sustain commitment to the project, cost overruns, implementation delays, corruption, construction in operation risk, congestion risk that may occur, and flood risk. The mitigation step, regular meeting and discussion among beneficiaries, continued government and donor support to the project, proper financial management and implementation plan, use experience from similar project, enhance capacity building, alternative traffic plan, implementation plan considering about flood season, early commencement of consultation and negotiation among the project impact to the society. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. To conclude, our proposed project will change the pace of Kabul, will provide investment opportunity and expected to have the following positive impact: protection from flood damage on Kabul River, increased convenience for residents to use river, attraction to foreigner, attraction to tourists, improve the environment and restore the historical value, expansion of land and river management policy in Kabul. To fully complete eventual goal, the project needs further research and implementation based on the above studies, support from the government and stakeholders. Next slide, please. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Raindrops. Now let me call on Team The Travelers for a presentation about sustainable agrotourism in Charbagh, Uzbekistan.
Good afternoon, everyone. On this 2021 Global Project Development Fair, we would like to introduce our project, Sustainable Agrotourism in Charbagh, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Next, please. First of all, let me introduce our member. I am Iwan from Indonesia, Won from Korea, Kim from Cambodia, and Islam from Uzbekistan. My friend Won will continue.
First, we'll briefly introduce to you the country background of Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is a country located in Central Asia, and according to statistics, 51% is urbanized and 49% is covered by rural area. In 2019, before COVID-19, a total of 22 million tourists visited Uzbekistan, and the total spending incurred by the tourism was 2.1 million USD. As you can see from this data, Uzbekistan is a country that has many potential to become the top tourism destination, but yet needs many developments. For this reason, we would like to propose agrotourism as a development strategy to further increase tourism in Uzbekistan. Next slide, please. Now, let me briefly explain the concept of agrotourism. Agrotourism or rural tourism is known as a recreation in the countryside in which tourists experience the rural lifestyle and get acquainted with the local culture and take part of the traditional rural work. Through this experience, tourists can escape from the hectic city life and feel the calmness and comfort of rural life and get closer to nature. Another advantage of agrotourism is that you can enjoy it at a reasonable price. Next slide, please. As the world is becoming increasingly urbanized, agrotourism is gaining its popularity, and it is being recognized as an alternative way for the farmers to diversify their business and increase profits. Not only in Europe, but also in CIS countries, the important role of the development agrotourism in solving the problems of rural villages is getting acknowledged. Next slide, please. In this graph, you can see how tourism has been consistently increasing in Uzbekistan. Next slide, please. We decided to implement our project around Lake Charbagh. This beautiful blue lake surrounded by a range of mountains are visited by 2 million tourists a year. And Charbagh Free Tourist Zone have been developed in order to increase the flow of tourism and to implement tourism projects and attract investors. Next slide, please. Charbagh Lake, located 100 kilometers away from the capital, city Tashkent and Tashkent International Airport. Next slide, please. The following are some of the tourism activities that you can enjoy in the area of Charbak. You can enjoy the lake in the summertime, skiing in the winter, and various other activities, including horseback riding and trekking, in which you can enjoy the nature of Uzbekistan. Next, So Kim will give us some relevant case studies.
Thank you very much, Pam. So in the relevant case study for this project, we have looked at some of the projects that related to agricultural and community-based tourism. So this is one of the projects which is very simple and popular agricultural and community-based tourism in Battambang, Cambodia. And another one is the project that located in West Java, Indonesia. And this is one of the most fantastic and luxurious family-owned organics farm stay. And from various projects that we have looked at, the rural tourism development has become an amazing experience and holiday option for visitors around the world. And for this purpose, so we're looking at what we can do with this project in Charbak. So based on the Uzbekistan agricultural potential and increasing the tourism demands and developments to establish the agro-tourism in Charbak would be a unique tourism developments and product for the regions and also for the countries. And for the activity that we will be conducting for this project would include the experiencing the farm tour, the activity, various activity, exploring the local community and traditions and lifestyles. And it's also providing the great facility and expands the holiday experience to the visitors to these regions. And as you can see on this slide, these are the particular pictures that you can imagine how the activity of this project going to figures for this project. So my colleague, Amat, will continue.
Apart from various activities and improving agriculture facilities, a greenhouse will be constructed for a more sustainable agriculture method, which can carry out year-round agriculture cultivation and educational activities. Next, please. For better quality and comfortable, to give farmstay experience to the visitors, new accommodation that adopt traditional house style of Uzbekistan will be constructed. It will use green energy by applying solar panel as the electricity source, and there will be one big swimming pool. Next, please. The expected outcomes of the project are to establish first agritourism in Charbak. Currently, there is no agritourism yet in Charbak, and if the project succeeds, it can become a model for other regions in Uzbekistan. This project also will give option and diversify for tourism in Charbak and Uzbekistan. It expected to increase the number of tourists and maximize the revenue from tourism sector. Finally, through this project, we expected to improve and sustain local economy. We hope local community will gain benefits from these tourism activities. My friend Islam will continue.
Oh, thank you so much. We will apply this project. Next, please. Our project requires a total of 8 hectares of land. 2.5 hectares of land will be allocated for construction and 5.5 hectares for agriculture and greenhouses. The land can be purchased by the auction. Next, please. Why we choose this place? There are more than 50 hotels and tourist attractions on Lake Charbak. The climate and land area of the region specialize in the agriculture and tourism. There are already more than 200 farms in the area. These farmers only grow fruits, vegetables, and agricultural products. According to a survey conducted by the Ministry of Tourism of the Republic of Uzbekistan, foreign and local tourists have approved the implementation of agritourism projects in this region. Next, please. Financial structure, the most important part of our project. The total cost of our project for construction, technology, and business administration is $6.7 million. Total revenue is around $2.2 million. These revenues are derived from accommodation, restaurants, service, and the sales of agricultural products. Next, please. You can see the details of the costs in the table. Next, please. Project financing is carried out in the following form. 35% is financing by special purpose company, and the 5% of subsidized by the government of Uzbekistan under the tourism development program in Uzbekistan. 60% of the project cost will be financed by international financial institutions, for example, World Bank, IDB, USAID, Korea EDCFA, Asian Development Bank, and others. Next, please. The flow of tourism in Uzbekistan is divided into 3 seasons. The beginning of spring and the end of autumn is the medium season. Summer is peak time. In winter, the lowest flow of tourism is observed. 55% of the revenue in peak time, 35% in medium season, and 20% in low season. Our friend and my colleague is Ahmad. Continue.
The project establishment will improve both agriculture and tourism sector in Uzbekistan and support sustainable rural development. Implementation of this project will increase number of tourists, both local and international, and generate more revenue into local agriculture and farm activities. And it will establish Uzbekistan on the list of agritourism country in the world. Finally, investment and development in sustainable agrotourism in Uzbekistan is very positive. This could be a profitable project. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Now we've come to our last presentation, Eco Dream Park by Team Days. Please take the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to present about Project Dangkal Eco Dream Park. Next, please. Here is our outline. Next, please. Our project will be in Phnom Penh capital city, which is in Dangkal district. The total surface of Dangkal district is 105 square kilometers with a population of 159,772. Next, please. Currently, the amount of the garbage increased from around 2,600 to 2,900 tons per day. By 2022, the landfill will no longer be able to receive the garbage, while the garbage has been increased to nearly 3,000 tons per day. Anyhow, our project will be presented as the first project in this city. Next, please. The total surface of the landfill is 31.4 hectares, which is the second one in the city under management by Phnom Penh Capital Administration. And the landfill cluster including 4 pit area of the garbage disposal, and area A and B was completed 100%. Right now we are using pit area C and D, which is the last pit for the garbage storage. During the previous 9 years, the amount of the garbage in the landfill has totally 6 million tons, which is 75.4 is organic waste, 18.3 is plastic, 6 is paper, and 18.3 is wood, grass, cotton, stone, and other. Next, please. In according to the National Sustainable Development Plan, NSP aims to develop sustainable economic together with environmental, social, cultural sustainability for poverty alleviation. This NP aim a green growth, ensuring a politic sustainability and macroeconomic sustainability to reach the status of development of the country. Next is my colleague, Mr. Smith, please.
Hi. Hi. The project has 3 objectives. The first goal is to transform the landfill to be sustainable development area by creating a change in perception and raising a global awareness for long term. Second goal is to develop new attractive tourist landmark in Phnom Penh. The third goal is to develop an eco-friendly park for citizens in Phnom Penh. Next, please. Our project refers to Nanjido which was a giant garbage mountain, which generated by the citizens of Seoul City during 1978 and 1993, about 28,877 tons per day. The city of Seoul has transformed the Nanjido waste landfill site into an eco-friendly park. It provides environmental effect is the plant and animal growing and the economic benefit from more than 9 million tourists per year. Next, please. Here is our concept of the project. To transfer the landfill to the eco park, there are 3 main tasks. First, the landfill treatment stabilization and by the government, we referred the model to recover landfill. Second, basic facility construction by the government to prepare basic components such as electric, public restroom, park, field, and third, the business by private sector. We will propose the new area to the private sector for investing their business such as restaurant, auto renting, coffee shop, bike rent. Next, Tukcha will continue.
Thank you, Smith. For our process of the project, as you can see in our time frame, the project is proposed to complete within 4 years for land treatment and facility constructions. The operations and monitoring with this model will do in the 5th year of the project. And also project will proceed with the construct with business sector for 20 years. Next, please. For the stabilization work of the project is following the Nanjido Park concept as we mentioned above. The main scope of Dong Cao Eco Dream Park is to clear the dump sites and cover it with a safe treatment facility and create other infrastructure for the smooth operation of stabilization facility. So soils composed of mixed sands and sludge will use to complete the size leveling of the upper part. For land preparations, after final covering, blocking, treatment, leachate, collecting, and treating, we start to move to the stabilization constructions that consist with 5 main components such as first, installations of impermeable walls to prevent leachate from the dump sites. Second, treatment of leachate. Third, collections and treatment of landfill gas. 4, slope stabilizations to manage the site of waste heap. And 5th, constructions of grassland after covering the top of landfill with soils. And next, yes, sir, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, after finishing the land treatment, now it's time for main facility inside the land. We are going to divide the land. Almost 45% will stand for grass and open area for public. Then we will consider about 5% of land will stand for umbrellas and that can produce electricity from solar power. The same amount of 5% will is considered for bicycle lane. Finally, we will have 3 or 15% will stand for artificial lake and open courts and 2 public toilets and 2 private cafes. Next, please. Then the new land will propose to private sector to provide some activities and chances for them. For example, we will provide bicycle and bottle renting, restaurant and cafes, event or exhibition area. By the end of the week, we will give the public people opportunity to participate at a movable market to offer their own products. Next, please. To promote the land to the private sector, the government should broadcast the project via various media. Besides, the legal framework for performing business on the area must be clearly identified. The government can propose tax for renting reduction to the private sector and improve surrounding infrastructure to attract the private sector investment. Okay, thank you. Next.
Yes, this project is proposed to responsible by the Division of Waste Management under the Phnom Penh administration and can ask for the budget approval from the Office of Council Minister. And for the cost and the benefit of the project with the discount rate at 9%, the project has net present value is about 150 million US dollar. According to the cost is about 33 million US dollar and the total benefit is about 253 million US dollar. The cost of the project are from the land preparation and operation and maintenance. And for the benefit, the project can obtain the benefit from the land reclamation, recycle waste, and the land renting from the private sector for 20 years. And Moreover, some indirect benefit of the project are such as the methane gas production reduction, appropriate ecosystem creation, biodiversity and water quality improvement, and the pollution problem reduction. And so our expected outcome of the project are first, the concept of the landfill recovery development to be the sustainable eco park, include the waste recovery for environmental improvement, the new ecosystem area to improve the quality of life, and the opportunity area for the business and the tourist attraction. The second is the opportunity to develop a wasteland to be a future asset of the city. And the last one is the adequate awareness of the renewable landfill management system, as it can be the new knowledge learning area. So finally, we Yasser from Egypt, Smith from Korea, Sokje and Deka from Cambodia, and myself, Arunrod from Thailand, would like to thank you all of you for for the kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team Days. As a concluding part of our session, I'd like to ask comments, advice, or any inputs from our distinguished panelists. Let me first introduce our panelist, Dr. Park Jae-shin, Vice President at KOICA, Dr. Do Eun-hee, Team Leader at SH, Dr. Yoo Seung-min, Senior Environmental Specialist at KT, and Dr. Han Mani, Professor at ISUS. Please give them a warm welcome and applause. May I first invite Dr. Park Jae-shin for your comments?
Hello, everyone. I'm Jae Park, Vice President of Korea International Cooperation Agency. Congratulations to all participants who did hard work, and you did a good job. I enjoyed listening to all of your presentations, but today I was requested to give some comments specifically on the Travelers projects. What is the title? The Sustainable Agro Tourism in Karabakh, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I was listening to your presentation, assuming that I am an investor, especially the equity investor. You requested me to put my money, my capital into your SPC to begin the project with, because it seems to be a rather commercial project than the social value pursuing project. Of course, you presented some positive social impact, and I agree with that. But basically, I recognize your project is rather commercial oriented. So. In general, listening to a business proposal, I would like to find some answers to three basic questions. Well, the project, a business project, by definition, is a transformative process from the beginning to an end. So I'd like to get answers to three questions. First is about as is. Where are we now? What the current situation is? I got some, ideas and answers from your presentation about this first question. The second question is about to be. Where do we want to go? What objectives, what visions, objectives we have to achieve, and also what return on investments or internal rate of return do I expect through this project? Well, you mentioned somewhat about this aspect, but I'd like to say that in some parts it is unclear, and you need to elaborate further. And the third question I'd like to get in answers is about how will we go there from here? So what resources do we have to mobilize, or what constraints do we face to overcome? That sort of implementation is very important in realizing the project in reality. So if I may give some comments in that regard, first of all, you seem to propose a tourist accommodation construction project, after all, because more than 99% of your revenue comes from the room charge, and only less than 1%, 0.4% revenue comes from selling palm products. So it basically is developing an accommodation. So my question is that can you attract let's see the slide 27. So can you attract the tourist customers domestically or internationally as you forecast, in the peak season, 55%, mid-season, 35%? Can you attract those customers, tourists from your country or around the world? That is the key question. I think it should be possible, but only if the activities or services you listed in the slide 15 are in place. While all the activities you mentioned here are very attractive, it looks very interesting. I'd like to go myself in order to enjoy these activities in the rural areas. So these activities or services are provided. Yes, I can agree with you that you can attract those visitors, tourists from around the world. That is the prerequisite of investing my money into this project. And secondly, you provided some financial structure. That's good. Financial structure is very important. Okay, you are inviting investors, equity investors, for your 35% of the cost. Again, as I mentioned already, you need to suggest what the return on investment or internal rate of return would be through these projects, in what time span. And secondly, you mentioned 5% of those equity would come from the government of Uzbekistan. I'd like to know what is the nature of this investment from the government of Uzbekistan. Is it a kind of subsidy? You mentioned the subsidy, you used that term, subsidy. So is it used as a kind of priming water? So in case of loss, rather than the benefit, then can it be used as a loss appropriation fund? Then if it's true, then it will lower the risk of this investment project. So it's good. But on the contrary, if this 5% equity is playing a role as kind of the constraints or the regulatory purposes, then it will reduce the attractiveness of this project. And other than this 40% equity, you are financing investment from financial institutions. Okay, you modified some slides, 27 of it. Well, in this slide I didn't see that, but you modified a bit, showing the interest rate of 3% or so. So after all, after paying back all of this financing money, when will I be able to materialize the profit? That is the answer I'd like to know through your presentation. You mentioned a bit, but still I have some areas unclear. So that is the point I mentioned. But after all, I think if these kind of preconditions are prepared and met, then I think this proposal contains very attractive aspect as well, because the topic itself is very promising, I believe. I myself would like to go there if those activities or services are provided. All the people living in the metropolitan city is desperate to get away from the busy and loud city. So I'd like to go there and experience and enjoy making a cow, collecting eggs, or taking some planting classes, harvesting vegetables. So the theme seems very promising, and I think there is a market demand out there. So if you modify one or two aspects, as I mentioned, then I think this proposal seems to be a very attractive one. Okay, all the best to your business plan. And in KOICA, I work in KOICA. We have a country office in Uzbekistan. The country director Park is very competitive, very smart. So I recommend you to visit the KOICA office in Uzbekistan to discuss this project, perhaps. But my mission might be attractive to this project. But before going there, we prepared much better, much further in order to do some constructive discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Park, for your encouraging comment, and even as a potential investor point of view. May I ask a few words of comments, Dr. No?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is In Hero from Seoul Urban Solutions Agency. First of all, I am very pleased to be attending this meaningful event and appreciate the International School of Urban Sciences, University of Seoul, for inviting me today. I really enjoyed the excellent presentations by all members, but I've requested to comment on two projects. So one is the Kabul River Regeneration by Raindrops team. In particular, I think this is a significant proposal case to tackle urban challenges through the regeneration of rivers, especially passing through the city center to improve citizens' quality of life. In Seoul, we also experienced similar urban problems due to the urbanization with rapid increase of urban population. In the branches of Han River, such as Cheonggyecheon in downtown Seoul, as impervious areas such as building and asphalt pavements increased due to the rapid urbanization in the 1960s and 70s, then rainwater could not penetrate underground, and as the water table decreased, so the river also decreased, and ultimately most of them became dry streams. So as you are well aware, the flow of water from Cheonggyecheon, which is upstream of the Jungnangcheon, is maintained by pumping up artificially treated water and allowing it to flow again. Since the Cheonggyecheon Trail is a little over 10 kilometers, so this project section will be about half of the Cheonggyecheon. If the marking on the map are correct, the sewage flowing into the Kabul River seems to be mostly sewage from commercial and residential areas. Regarding the sewer system design, it would be right to install the collection pipelines along both sides of the river. However, if financial and geographical conditions allow, two sewage treatment plants, which is one for the commercial area and one for the downstream of the residential area, could be more efficient because the characteristics, amount, and pattern of sewage in both areas would be different. Another point is that you mentioned about the usage of shot-to dam water. Yes, it is possible to use the water from the dam for river maintenance of the Kabul River, but if the groundwater level is not secured, the maintenance water will seep into the ground and eventually become dry again. For example, the Cheonggyecheon was waterproofed with concrete to make a waterway. So it seems that we can decide how to restore the Kabul River by carefully examining and calculating the groundwater level and water volume, precipitation amount and precipitation pattern, and the supply of maintenance water from the dam. And I'd like to mention one more thing. For the sustainable restoration of clean water flow, it is necessary to identify fundamental causes of the river pollution and seek solutions in various ways. So in other words, in addition to these infrastructure improvements, it is necessary to review pollution source management, like an improvement of residents' awareness of practices such as illegal dumping of waste and establishment of standards for wastewater treatment in commercial facilities. For this, as you already proposed in the implementation organization structure, citizens committee with experts group could do a role for enhancing project effectiveness, I believe. I go to the next project by Dankour Eco Dream Park by Dave's team. I think this proposal proposal is well aligned with the related government policy framework, which is the National Sustainable Development Plan and strategies. And project stakeholders are clearly defined with its systematic management process. As a benchmark case, the team studied Nanjido Eco Park, one of the successful cases to turn a waste dumping site into an environment-friendly space in Seoul. While the Nanjido is a case of converting an unsanitary landfill into a sanitary landfill by turning it into an eco park, it is desirable to construct a sanitary landfill from the beginning for Angkor Eco Park, I believe. However, turning into a park with large investment requires undertaking careful feasibility study with location analysis, such as connection with surrounding greenery and river ecosystem, economic and financial viability, and measures to induce private investment. Nanjido case was linked to the development of surrounding areas, such as construction of a large-scale residential complex that is the demand source of landfill gas, as well as commercial complex like DMCs. So it seems to be required to prepare more sophisticated project feasibility analysis in this proposal. I'd like to recommend one more thing. In terms of waste management, Seoul has two policy directions. One is reduction at source. Another one is turning waste into resources. So I'd like to recommend the first policy direction to Angkor, which can be relatively easily adopted. For example, reducing the amount of waste generated through the implementation of policies such as the volume-based waste disposal system is recommended. And for securing project effectiveness, various measures should be considered at the same time, such as promoting waste recycling, preventing illegal waste dumping using CCTV monitoring, and reorganizing related legal systems and regulations. In your proposal, it is already mentioned the importance of recycling, but there is no clear regulations like garbage classification yet in your country. So last, I'd like to point out the identification and responding to the project challenges is very important. So in case of Nanjido, the job problem of urban poor as a livelihood for waste pickers was a challenge, big challenge. So accordingly, Seoul city government actively sought a solution for that issue at the time. So in case of the Angkor project, it is also necessary to consider those challenges and countermeasures for implementation of this project. This is my comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. No, for your detailed comments. Perhaps Dr. No did a separate investigation to comment on our presentation today, despite her busy schedule. Thank you very much. Lastly, Dr. Yu, would you please give us a comment?
Thank you, Professor Park. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Professor Hyun-ba, inviting KT for this excellent seminar. KT is the public organization under the Ministry of Environment, and so we are supporting overseas green project developed by Korean companies. It means I'm every day reviewing the project proposal. So I'd like to share what 3 points of view. So when I review the project proposal, first of all, I'm checking is it proposed the best technical option considering local condition, and secondly, I'm checking is it proposed the reasonable investment cost and operation cost. And lastly, I'm checking is it proposed a possible funding option to implement the project, considering the project type and project size. So today I'd like to give some comments on these 3 options of view. So I will particularly give my comments on the presentation presentations from Team Hay and Team Bright. And regarding to the Team Hay presentation, it is a really good and very interesting presentation. It is good technical option, I think. But just one thing I'm a little bit worried about that is I'm not sure it is possible to generate enough biogas with a small amount of food waste and organic waste generated from small population. In my memory, it is just 2,000 people lived in there. So we need to check it. And also I cannot find the operating cost of this project. So I think we need to, it will be better to update this information more. So it will be better to persuade your potential investor, I think. And regarding to the presentation from Team Bright, generally the project concept is well organized and very well organized, I think. But I also, this presentation also will be better to add more slides regarding to the economic analysis, especially CapEx and OpEx. So in my understanding, the project CapEx is, it looks $120 million, but I cannot see the detailed investment cost in your presentation. So I'd like to suggest more information regarding to the project cost and financial plan to implement this project. So considering the time limitation, I will finish my comments now. And to all presenters, you did a really good job and really very interesting in your presentation with lots of energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yu, for your valuable comments. Again, thank you all for your presence joining over the Zoom and YouTube live of the GPD Fair. Let me turn the mic to Professor Sao for the awards and closing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Hyun-Min Park. All right, so
what about Professor Han's comment?
Okay, actually, I was not supposed to make a comment because of the time limit, but I think I have to make a comment a little bit. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the participants for your successful presentation today. It was very much impressive and interesting, and the subjects were very diverse. So I really enjoyed it. And then that means that all the members of each team work very hard to complete your presentation project, and then lots of communication continued during the process. I really appreciate it, but I was able to find some limitations in your project, such as the over-optimistic calculation of the result or the effect of the project, and some technical or financial feasibility. So I think such kind of issues need to be complemented. Anyway, I'd like to give all the A+ to all teams. It was excellent and then very good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Manihan. All right, so before closing today's fair, it's time to announce today's award. So 2 teams for each session will be awarded. And before I announce the teams to be awarded, I want to say that all the presentations were excellent, interesting. And thank you for your great presentation, all the presenters. And I also want to appreciate the contributions of the panels for comments and scoring on the presentations. Yeah, evaluations and making scores on multiple works always difficult, especially when all the works are very good. So thank you very much again. And I got the result of the first session. So yeah, it's my job. So I want to announce the second place for the first session is Mobile Devil Assemble. Congratulations. Yeah, they proposed the PPP project to of a bridge construction to Java Island in Tanzania. Congratulations. All right, and the first place for the first session is
예, 저기 점수 입력 때문에 연락드렸습니다. 안녕하세요. 예, 알겠습니다. 예.
Yeah, now we are collecting the scores on the second session. Right. So okay. So first prize for the first session is City Engineer. Congratulations. They propose a multi-level urban parking in Dhaka city, Bangladesh. Yeah, congratulations to teams, and other teams were also very good. Thank you very much. Right. And I'm still waiting the result for the second session. So, right. Okay. Meanwhile, I want to say that it was a great pleasure for us hosting this event with many special guests from our sponsor agencies, regarding organizations, and also many students and alumni of ISUS. And also many alumni joined today's event via YouTube streaming service. It was a great reunion. Once again, thank you all for your participation and cooperation today. All right, I just got the result of the second session. All right, second place for the second session is Team.
I'm sorry, hold on, please.
All right.
Hold on, please. Yeah.
Hold on.
They're collecting.
All right. Is there any? I already said. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It was. Oh, all right. There were some mistakes on the calculation. All right. So second place for the second session is the Travelers. Congratulations. So Travelers proposed sustainable agro-tourism in Chabak in Uzbekistan. Right. Congratulations. And then first prize for the second session is Team Days. Congratulations, Team Days. They proposed Eco Dream Park project after landfill restoration in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Right. So congratulations, all the team awarded today. And I also want to say it was well done.
You can all turn on your mics.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Congratulations to all. And it was right. So it's time to wrap up today's event. So I mean the prize will be notified soon. So okay, you can wait. And ladies and gentlemen, all right. Please excuse that. There was miscommunication with the. So all right, we had 1 second place and 2 first place teams. So all right, So Team Bright is the second place, right? Congratulations. And then the Travelers and Days, we have 2 teams for the first place. So congratulations for the 3 teams, right?
Good job.
Good job. I mean, all right. I'm sorry, it was first time. So we made a mistake, but yeah, it was, all right. So again, Team Bright is the second place, and Team Travelers and Days both teams are in first place, right? Okay. So the 2021 ISUS GPD Fair has officially ended, and it was the first showcase of GPD projects in front of sponsor agencies. I think this job well done because of all the supports from our sponsor agencies, and students and alumni, and all staff and faculty members of ISUS. Hopefully we will meet you in person for the next GPD Fair. Thank you very much and take care. See you next time. Right. So,
bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor.
Well done.
Bye, Professor.
Thank you so much.
네, 고생하셨습니다. 감사합니다.
수고하셨습니다.
또 박주신 이사님,
네.
유승민 박사님 감사합니다.
네, 수고하셨습니다. 건강하십시오.
수고하셨습니다.
감사합니다.
안녕히 계세요.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 노은희 팀장님 감사합니다.
Good job. Good job.
수고 많으셨습니다.
네, 수고하셨습니다.
네, 전부 다 수고하셨어요.
고생하셨습니다. 정말 잘하신 것 같은데. 아주 부드럽게 잘 된 것 같아요.
네네. 고생 많으셨습니다, 교수님. 그리고 또 선생님들 다 고생 많으셨어요. 네,
네, 수고하셨습니다.
수고 많으셨습니다.
계산 혼동이 있어서 죄송합니다.
뭐 한 팀 더 주고.
저도 너무 성급하게 보자마자 읽어버렸어요.
죄송합니다.
네, 수고 많으셨어요.
감사합니다.
저기 그 상은 일단 발표한 팀들을 다 기본적으로 상을 이번 1, 2등 안 된 팀들도 상을 기본적으로 좀 주면 좋겠어요.
네, 기념품.
그리고 잘한 팀들은 더 좋은 상 주고 그렇습니다. 여기 1, 2한 팀들은 네, 좋은 선물로 좀 준비를 다들 고생을 많이 해가지고 그 팀들이 다.
예, 알겠습니다.
네.